Maybe we can come back. And we get to the letter and we get to point to the point.
I'm Karen Reddy. I'm a former member here. Long time former member. Been away for 5 years.
Bob Williams. I'm with Karen Reddy.
Oh, and we've got some long time members on that. Welcome back. You said you had another time? Oh, yeah. Did you plan this or? No?
Yeah. Yeah. But, well,
Marvelous. And who's joining us on Zoom?
let's see, we've got Kay and Daryl, Dave Hughes, Happy Eubanks, and Martha Nassett.
Oh, hey, so glad to see you guys both up right. Well, again, Zoom, so glad you're able to join us today. And down there, Susan running around the block. That's an emotion for us. Or, sorry, it's fine. What else do we have? Well, simply we do like, you know, that, by default. Okay. So far, we have collected budgets in the amount of same as last week, which is $38,000 and $38,029. And so we want to move that forward a little more. So if anyone wants to add some more leads to our tree in the form of coats and greens or UCF, she's going to do that today. We have to extra leads. And you can add a link and sign. And you have to wait for the service. And then when we get more questions, we can move the squirrel. Do you know why it is that? Today after the service, we'll be meeting in room 7 in the Valley White Center for session 1 of 3. It's a crash course in Union history and theology.
If you'd like to learn more about Unitarian Universalism, this is your chance. And if you'd like to sign the membership book, this is also your chance. There's snacks, I might add. On Saturday, March 16th, our very own Reverend Mott is keynote speaker at the Love One Another Symposium in Greenville. It's hosted by the Jesse R. Peel LGBTQ Center at Eastern Carolina University. The symposium is about the intersection between sexual orientation and faith. Tickets are on sale now, $15 for adults and $5 for students, and those are on ECU's website. And there's if a lot of us are going, there's carpool information that will follow. It's coming. So we invite everyone in the sanctuary to please silence your cell phones. And everybody on Zoom, if you turn off your camera, it conserves bandwidth, so you get a better feed. We invite everybody to turn and greet your neighbor.
And tell how you would.
Great. I figured you're still getting up to speed, you know? Yeah, you really did. Very crowded sanctuary.
Beloveds, we gather today in the spirit of community because believing or not, we are all creators. We are creators of hearths and homes. We are creators of fire and food, creators of bridges and dams, creators of art and magic. We are creators of life. Let this morning remind us of our incredible power and the responsibility that comes with it. Will the people repeat after me? Come, let us worship together. And I invite Marilyn to read our chalice lighting words today while I light our chalice, the symbol of our shared faith.
We light this chalice, the symbol of our faith, knowing that this morning many others across this land and around the world are doing the same.
I know, but I have a hard time too sometimes.
Me too. For us and for our far-flung kin, it is a light of peace, of justice, and of love. But without work, these aspirations flicker out as soon as the candle is extinguished. Let us all join together to accept the challenge of doing the hard work that makes these aspirations real. We also light a peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Please join us in our opening hymn, number 1068, Rising Green.
My blood doth rise in the roots of yon oak. Her blood doth run in my veins, unless my soul like the open sky, where the stars forever reign, where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever have lain. My hands hold the weavings of time without end. My sight as deep as the sea, reaching my heart some measures of old that arouse eternity. That of love's eternity. I feel the tides as they answer the moon, rushing on. Singing my song is the wind of my breast. The Lord goes over the land. And my Lord, and my Lord goes over the land. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. One rest our day settles deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green. Rising green to rise a new day.
Now, every week, we make a little space and time to simply be human together. Into every life, a little rain must fall, and into every life, there also comes a rainbow from time to time to time. Now is when we share our joys and sorrows with one another and remind ourselves and each other that, as a French philosopher once said, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. In a moment, Megan is going to give us some beautiful music, and I invite everyone who is able and willing to rise and line up against the far wall here by the triptych and come around to the front where we have a basket of shells and stones and sea glass, and you may take as many or as few as represent whatever is on your heart and leave it in the glass chalice of water. If you have any personal joys or concerns that you would like me to read aloud to the congregation, we have a basket there and some slips of paper. You may write your joy or concern on the paper, leave it in the basket, and after I share our world and community joys and concerns, I will also read personal joys and concerns aloud. This stone is for the people weathering wildfires in Texas and Nebraska and deep snows in the Sierra Nevada mountains. People are trapped, lives and livelihoods have been lost. It may feel far away from many of us, but extreme weather does affect all of us. We grieve their losses because we know that we are all part of an interdependent web of existence. And this stone is for Nex Benedict, a 16-year-old non-binary high school student in Oklahoma who died on February 8th, the day after being physically bullied by 3 girls in the bathroom at their high school. As people of faith who believe that all people have inherent worth and dignity, we grieve the tragic loss of this young life who is doing nothing other than living into their authentic self. We condemn bullying and commit ourselves to building safe and welcoming spaces for all people. And this stone is for Penny Hooper's sister and her family. Penny Hooper's nephew, Jerry, passed away suddenly last Wednesday. This weekend, she is with her sister and family during these difficult times. Please hold them in your heart. And our very own dear member, Mary Anna Newman, is currently in comfort care in Duke Hospital in Durham after deciding that she did not want any more interventions to prolong her life. We love you, Mary Anna, and we love so much that we got to know you. A card for Mary Anna is in the social hall, I believe, although I've seen it migrating around. And I will bring it to her this afternoon when I drive to Durham to see her. So please sign the card after the service. Susan Fetzer writes, thinking of all the communities of her childhood home area in the Texas Panhandle as fires continue, Susan's and her brother's farms are fortunately okay. We are very grateful for that. Anonymous writes, a prayer for our dear members and family fighting cancer and illness. Roanne writes, Xander has been approved to join the U.S. Navy. Xander is her son. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, he's a young man now, isn't he? When does that happen? And a joy, Charlie Alexander Kenworthy, grandson of Martha and Judd, entered this world on February 20th. Aww. Friends, will you please join me in the spirit of prayer? Great Spirit of the universe, Spirit who is present in the littlest among us, who run down the halls, as well as the oldest among us. Our hearts are so filled with grief and joy today and every day. Our heart is filled with grief for all the tragedies that occur in this world, that everyone we love we will someday lose, and climate change, and war, and bullying, and all of these terrible things that happen to us and to others, and we grieve those losses. And at the same time, we must somehow make room in our hearts for joy. Joy at birthdays, joy at coming-of-age ceremonies, joy at young ones leaving the nest, joy that somehow, despite everything, children still laugh, and they run, and they play, because there is still joy in the world. Will you sing with me, please? There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. We'll hum it one time through now. Thank you, friends. And now if you will indulge me in just a little bit more singing, because it's time for us to sing out our littlest ones today. Today we're only singing out the very itty-bitty ones, and we're gonna ask the school-age children to please stay behind. There is a bingo card you may have noticed in your order of service today. So if you get bingo, you do get a prize. It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do when you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do. What I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty I love be what I do when I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do. What we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty we love be what we do, and we don't have to do it alone. Cha-cha-cha. The cha-cha-cha is optional. And I now invite everyone into a moment of silent contemplation and reflection. I now invite up Jason Pesh to tell us about what UCF means to him today.
Hello. My name is Jason Pesh, and my pronouns are he, they. I'm already extremely introverted, and when the pandemic hit, I closed myself off to the world. Last summer, I decided to brave the elements and venture to a mysterious place I heard about from a neighbor. When I got here, I was such a mess. I had a meltdown on the drive here. I was flipping out in the car just before I came in, trying to prepare my brain to be around strangers. I didn't have my special glasses yet, so I had to wear sunglasses. I was so worried that people would think I was just trying to be cool or something. I was even trying to think of like a good comeback, like, the sun don't set on cool, baby, you know. But the truth is I have light sensitivity, and due to my sensitive ears, I had to wear headphones too, so. Yet after all the overstimulation, the nervous system regulation, and cringing through my little one not being able to sit still, I love the message I heard. And it was a message about community, diversity, sharing, justice, and love. So I kept coming, and eventually, through Reverend Ma's radical inclusion, I did something I never thought I'd ever do in my lifetime. I helped write and conduct a Samhain service at church, y'all. Like, how awesome was that? And I helped do more and more. Oh, thank you. And, now I'm gonna cry.
It's okay, it's okay.
Beat it down, all right.
No, we don't repress our feelings here.
Yeah, yes, all right. Okay, yes, yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing I'm learning. Yes, thank you, okay. Anyway, so I kept helping, all right, come on. So I helped do more and more, like the hosting these pagan Sabbats, playing music on stage, and in a freaking D&D service. Like, bro, like, this place is cool. Anyway, like, what other fellowship are you going to like dress and act like a haughty elf? Like, I gladly give my talents to UCF in exchange for lovely community. And you know what? I'm a lot less afraid to talk to people now. I'm still awkward as heck, but at least like stuff comes out of my mouth, you know. So what can I say? I enjoy the company of every person here, and that is the true reason I come. I love how no one judges you based on what you wear. No one is gonna equate your level of faith with how expensive your clothes are. Like, I like coming to UCF for a community that is accepting of other people, no matter their background, race, sexual orientation, gender, or religious preference. Or none. I mean, non-believers are welcome as well. There are no hierarchies, which means there are no restrictions on who people can be friends with, and there's no one using the outdated religious method of the transmission of knowledge from a higher power. So people will absolutely call you out on your BS here. And you know what? That is exactly why I love them, and that is exactly why I love UCF. Thank you for your time.
That's great, buddy. Thank you so much, Jason. That was very clearly from the heart. And thank you to everybody here for building such a wonderful and welcoming community. And now we arrive at last at, what is this table doing up here? What is on this table? It looks like there might be marshmallows on this table. Yes? Okay. So at this point, I invite up anyone who wants to take part in a design challenge. So we have 2 stations set up here for building 2 separate towers out of the materials you see here. So each station has 20 pieces of dried spaghetti, 1 yard of string, 1 yard of, well, we're using builder's tape here, and 1 marshmallow. And also some paper and pens if you want to do some planning, but the paper and pens are not going to be in the tower. And the challenge is, in the next 20 minutes, you are going to build the tallest tower that you can manage with the materials provided. The tower must stand for 3 seconds in order to be counted. All right, so who wants to come up and build a tower? Yeah, come on, just come on up. You don't need to raise your hand, just come. Okay. Yes, you can eat the marshmallow. I mean, if you still want to. I mean, if you've covered it with tape or something, I'm not going to promise that you're going to want to eat the marshmallow. All right. Owen, come over here and make a team. This is a team exercise. You do not have to incorporate everything, but do remember that your tower needs to be as tall as you can get it. All right, so who else wants to be up here? All right, I'm going to ask you 2 to be part of a team over here. Team of 4. Yeah, get closer. Don't be afraid. We're getting to know each other here. This is a team exercise. All right, George, are you going to get up here? No? Okay, that's okay. You can watch. All right, so we do have a station here for another team of 4 if anybody decides that they want to come up. Yeah, we can bring you more chairs, or you can stand, whatever is more comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm setting, I know, people are hard at work already. So I am setting a timer now, because this is for realsies. What are we waiting for? Oh, we got someone else coming up? All right. Can you guys fit a 15-member, or no, are we making a second team? We are making a second team. Okay. All right. Okay, serious planning happening over here. I'm loving it. Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay, awesome. We've got another team up here. All right, I am setting the timer now. I am setting the timer for 10 minutes. We'll do a check-in after 10 minutes, all right? Okay. So this design challenge was devised by a man named Peter Skillman. Peter Skillman is a product designer who has worked for companies such as Microsoft, Philips, and Amazon. Have any of y'all heard of those companies before? Maybe? Microsoft, Amazon, yeah? So Peter Skillman devised this challenge to teach a lesson about the process of designing a good product. But along the way, he learned something very interesting about how people work together. And what he learned has been written up in a book by Daniel Coyle called The Culture Code: The Secrets of Highly Successful Groups. Now, Peter Skillman has run this challenge with all kinds of people in all kinds of places. He's run it at the University of Tokyo. He's run it at Stanford University. He's done it at elementary schools, at business schools. And what he found was that the lowest performing groups were business students. For real. The highest performing group was kindergartners. Yeah. I know, go kindergartners. Well, okay, to be fair, the actually highest performing group are architects. But they have an unfair advantage, so correct, that does not count. The kindergartners were technically the second highest performing group, but again, we're not counting the architects. So why is that? Daniel Coyle describes it in his book this way. He describes it, this is a quote, an excerpt from Daniel Coyle's book. He says, "The business students got right to work. They began talking and thinking strategically. They examined the materials, they tossed ideas back and forth, they asked thoughtful, savvy questions. They generated several options, then honed the most promising ideas. It was professional, rational, and intelligent. The process resulted in a decision to pursue one particular strategy, and then they divided up the tasks and began building. The kindergartners took a different approach. They did not strategize. They did not analyze or share experiences. They did not ask questions, propose options, or hone ideas. In fact, they barely talked at all. They stood very close to one another. Their interactions were not smooth or organized. They abruptly grabbed materials from one another and started building, following no plan or strategy. When they spoke in short bursts. Here, no, here. Their entire technique might be described as trying a bunch of stuff together. If you had to bet which of the teams would win, it would not be a difficult choice. You would bet on the business school students because they possess the intelligence, skills, and experience to do a superior job. This is the way we normally think about group performance. We presume skilled individuals will combine to produce skilled performance in the same way we presume 2 + 2 will combine to produce 4. Your bet would be wrong. In dozens of trials, kindergartners built structures that averaged 26 inches tall, while business school students built structures that averaged less than 10 inches. The result is hard to absorb because it feels like an illusion. We see smart, experienced business school students, and we find it difficult to imagine that they would combine to produce a poor performance. We see unsophisticated, inexperienced kindergartners, and we find it difficult to imagine that they would combine to produce a successful performance. But this illusion, like every illusion, happens because our instincts have led us to focus on the wrong details. We focus on what we can see, individual skills. But individual skills are not what matters. What matters is the interaction. The business school students appear to be collaborating, but in fact they are engaged in a process psychologists call status management. They are figuring out where they fit into the larger picture. Who is in charge? Is it okay to criticize someone's idea? What are the rules here? Their interactions appear smooth, but their underlying behavior is riddled with inefficiency, hesitation, and subtle competition. Instead of focusing on the task, they are navigating their uncertainty about one another. They spend so much time managing status that they fail to grasp the essence of the problem, which is that the marshmallow is relatively heavy and the spaghetti is hard to secure. As a result, their first efforts often collapse and they run out of time. The actions of the kindergartners appear disorganized on the surface, but when you view them as a single entity, their behavior is efficient and effective. They are not competing for status. They stand shoulder to shoulder and work energetically together. They move quickly, spotting problems and offering help. They experiment, take risks, and notice outcomes, which guides them toward effective solutions. The kindergartners succeed not because they are smarter, but because they work together in a smarter way. They are tapping into a simple and powerful method in which a group of ordinary people can create a performance far beyond the sum of their parts. That's the end of the excerpt. It was a very long excerpt. So what does this have to do with us? Well, what is the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship if not a bunch of people trying stuff together? We're trying out different kinds of worship together. We're trying out putting on a social justice film series. We're trying out creating a pluralistic faith community that draws wisdom from faith traditions all over the world. We're trying out a new mission statement together. Shout out to Susan Fetzer, president of the board. We're trying out new ways of raising our children together. And we're trying out beloved community together. And when we're trying things out, are we more like the business students? Or are we more like the kindergartners? Are we engaging in status management, trying to figure out who's in charge, trying to figure out the unspoken rules, trying to compete with each other? Or are we more like the kindergartners, approaching without ego, taking risks and focusing on the outcome? Got to check the timer. How much time do I have left? Okay. I'm not saying that we should never have a plan. It's good sometimes to have a plan. What's not good is spending so much time planning that you never actually get around to building your spaghetti tower. What's not good is being so focused on perfection or so afraid of failure that you never get started. The reason the kindergartners perform well is because they just get right to it, right? And they fail very quickly, they fail often, they fail early, and they learn from their failures. Meanwhile, the business students spend all their time planning and not enough time learning. So this is the lesson that Peter Skillman wants us to take away from the design challenge. It is that we should take risks and don't be afraid to fail. Granted, he can do that because lives generally do not hang in the balance when it comes to product design for Microsoft. You should definitely be afraid to fail if you are performing open heart surgery or launching people into space. But most of life is not that high stakes. In most of life, you can afford to just do things and fail and learn along the way. So, we should try new things and don't be afraid to fail. That is how we learn. As Jake the dog said in that cartoon Adventure Time, did anyone here watch Adventure Time? Yes, a few people have watched Adventure Time. As Jake the dog said, sucking at something is the first step toward being sort of good at something. And that goes for the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship as a whole, as we enter into a new era, in a new building, with a new minister. We're trying new things. Some of those things aren't going to work, and we'll learn from it, and we'll try again. And that goes for Unitarian Universalism as a whole, as we reinvent ourselves for a new century and a new generation. We're trying new things, and some of those things won't work, and we'll learn from it, and we'll move on. I'm trying something new with this worship service. Do you think I've ever done anything like this before? No, I have not. I spent a lot of time and energy over the course of the past week trying to figure out how this was going to work out. Is it going to be too distracting, having people working on a table right in front? I don't know. Maybe there's some people here who have not listened to a single word I've said because you've just been watching them build towers. I don't know. 3 of us right here. Yeah, right? I know. I mean, I know you guys aren't listening to me because you're building towers. That's fine. You know, I also considered, what if I just give like a really short sermon, like a 5-minute homily, and then we can have 20 minutes of tower building, but then that's boring. Oh, the timer's going off. Okay, hang on.
What's a homily?
What's a homily? I don't know, it's a really short sermon. Okay, who's got the tape measure? Sarah, have you got the tape measure? All right, how's everyone's tower going?
Tape measure.
All right, okay, oh, we're doing pretty good here. Okay.
Fancy one. We have a
Okay, so the tower has to be able to stand for 3 seconds unassisted. So hands off your towers, guys, as we check in. Okay, all right.
30 inches.
Whoa, 30 inches. Okay, what have we got here?
Still standing.
I know, that's still standing really well.
15.
15 inches. Okay, all right, hang on. There is still time. Okay, I'm putting 10 more minutes on the clock. There's still time to improve on your designs. We're not done yet. See if you can get those towers even taller.
We're out of spaghetti.
Oh, you're out of spaghetti?
We're done.
Okay, these guys have decided that they're done. These guys are going to improve on their iteration, right? Okay, all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and declare, Marilyn, can you get each team 5 more pieces of spaghetti? Yeah.
But no more marshmallows.
No more marshmallows. We'll stick with the 1 marshmallow, but we'll give them each 5 more pieces of spaghetti. All right, so while Marilyn's working on that, so I did think of giving like a really short sermon, like maybe just 5 minutes, and then having 20 minutes of tower building. But then I remembered the people on Zoom, and I was like, man, that's going to be so boring for the people on Zoom if there's just 20 minutes of like dead air while people in the sanctuary are working on building their towers. And then I was also like, but what if nobody comes up to build a tower at all? Like, what if I'm just giving this sermon and there's just nobody up here at the tables? But I thought the chances of that were a little low. Anyway, so here we are, trying it anyway, because ultimately, there was no way to really know how this was going to go other than just doing it. And so now we know, and now if we decide that we want to do something like this again, we can improve for the future. Like actually what I've learned from this is that it's actually distracting for me because they're very close to me and I can hear them talking. Like I don't know if you guys can hear them talking as much, but I can. And so I have to kind of tune out the talking so that I can focus on giving my sermon. So that's what I've learned. And now finally, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, okay? And it is that failure does not make you a bad person or a worthless person. Getting a bad grade on a test does not make you worthless. Losing your job does not make you worthless. Getting divorced does not make you worthless. Declaring bankruptcy does not make you worthless. Being disabled does not make you worthless. You are not worthless. Nobody in this room is worthless. You are a sacred being, and you have inherent worth and dignity. So you do not need to fear failure. None of us here need to fear failure because mistakes, things going wrong, failure is just part of being human. It's part of growing and learning. It's part of transformation. We will fail many, many times on our way to building beloved community. That should not be an obstacle to trying, because it's worth it. So, let us take risks together. Let us put aside our egos and work together for the common good. Let us fail together and learn together and grow together. Because that is what all of this is about. May it be so. All right, let's see how much time we got on the clock. Okay. We have about 5 minutes left on the clock. Oh, I don't know. Tom, am I going to be able to drag you away from your group? You got to lead a song. Let's see. What? Tom. Okay, we're going to give Tom a minute until he feels that he can walk away with integrity.
We're maxed out.
You're maxed out? Okay. All right, so what have we got on this tower? 31 inches. Okay, all right, and this tower is still working on it. Okay, we're making good use of making good use of tape here. 30. Okay. All right. We're gonna sing until the timer goes off. Come on, Tom. You gotta lead them in a round for like 5 minutes. You can do it. No flag. Okay, no flag.
Okay, Reverend. We're going to talk about multitasking. So we're going to sing Building Bridges one time straight through, try 2 times straight through. Everybody's singing, and then I need Marilyn up here, and I need Reverend Ma up here. Since you had me building a bridge, I'm going to have you leading around. Here we go. Building bridges. One time, twice straight through. Twice straight through, and then we'll stop, and then we'll do something else. Okay? How about a little lead in there? Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Now, we've done this as a round before, And in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a service all about chants and rounds. So let's see how good you are. So we're going to do this in 3 parts today. Reverend Ma is going to lead this section over here. And I'm going to lead this section in the middle. I get most of the people. And then Marilyn's going to lead this section over here. So when Reverend Ma brings you in at the beginning, you start. And when I bring you in a little later, you start. And when Marilyn brings you in, you start. I'm going to keep going until you look like our tower there. Okay, one time together, everybody, and then we'll start with this section over here. Ready? Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, building bridges between our divisions. Building bridges between our divisions. Building bridges between our divisions. Cross we can make to reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. One more time. Between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our Oh, that was a lot better than the tower we made. If I could make one announcement, we've been gone for a couple of months, and it's really great to be back. And I see a whole bunch of new faces out there. And our choir is going to resume rehearsals next Sunday at 9 o'clock in the Sally D. White Center in the big room back there. So if you'd like to come join us, please do. We're getting ready for the Gospel Fest with the NAACP Gospel Fest that happens every year. That's toward the end of April. We're getting ready for the Choral Fest at Eno River up in Duke, in Durham. Go Duke. In Durham toward the end of April, and we'll be singing in some of our services here. So if you've not sung with us before and you would like to, this is a non-audition group. All you got to do is show up. Right, Jason? And Jason's been with us and has sung in the past and done great. So if you'd like to join us next week at 9 o'clock in the Sally D. White Center.
All right. Oh no, one at a time. No. Everybody get in your photo ops. All right. Marilyn, you're up.
Every month, we share the plate with a different charity or a nonprofit organization, meaning that half of everything that goes into the offering plate that isn't a pledge is shared with that charity or nonprofit. This month, we're sharing the plate with Misplaced Mutts, a nonprofit volunteer-based organization dedicated to rescuing dogs and cats in shelters and less than ideal homes in their situations throughout North Carolina. Today, tell me your name again. Carrie is here from Misplaced Mutts to tell us a little more about what they do and how our generosity will help them. And I invite Carrie up to the podium.
Just want to say thank you so much for inviting me here today. This is a wonderfully welcoming environment. It reminds me a lot of going to work. I teach kindergarten actually at Tiller School. And we happen to use a quiet chime in our classroom. We greet one another. We share our joys and concerns. We do a lot of singing. Sometimes there's crying, but usually happy tears. And believe it or not, we, in all honesty, have built spaghetti towers with marshmallows. We used a few more than just one marshmallow tower, so we'll have to try it your way next time. So it's great to be here, and on behalf of Misplaced Mutts, we're very honored for this invitation and your generosity. My name is Carrie Huber, and I, in addition to being a teacher, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. Michael is my oldest, but only by 4 minutes. I have twins. He is getting ready to go to graduate school to study marine sciences. His twin brother Cameron lives with me. He's on the high-functioning autism spectrum. He's in the culinary program at the community college, and he's doing really well with that. He would love to have been here today. He loves going to church. Unfortunately, he's got a cold, so he missed it. But my daughter Rachel is here with me, and she is on spring break from UNCW. She's a communications major. Not really sure what she wants to do, so she's just figuring that out. So when I'm not teaching and when I'm not being a mom, I'm spending virtually every other living, breathing moment in being involved with dog rescue. Our nonprofit started officially in 2017 is when we got our 501c3 certification. And it started just sort of out of the blue. My partner and I were asked to foster a dog for a local veterinarian. It was a pit bull puppy. In the pictures on Facebook, she looked like she weighed about 10 pounds, but pictures can be deceiving. We went and drove and got her, and she was about 35 pounds, and she was paralyzed. She was not able to walk, and the couple that had surrendered her were graduate students, and it was just a freak accident. They don't even really know how it happened, and the dog's name was Faith. Well, they had to surrender Faith to the veterinarian because they were not sure that she'd ever walk again, and being busy grad students, they didn't have the time or the money to attempt to rehabilitate her. So the veterinarian reached out and saw if anybody could help, and we jumped at the chance. It was a grueling process for a really long time. She would not walk. We had to carry her, and she got heavier and heavier by the day as she was growing. Just as sweet and happy as she could be, but it was a lot of work. She couldn't express her own bladder or anything. And just when we were about to give up, we kept kind of looking, and did her foot just move? And we just hoping and dreaming. And skipped to the end, she did regain her mobility, and she was miraculously able to walk again, and just in time because we were tired. And we ended up returning her to the veterinarian, who had reached back out to the owners and told them the story, and they were shocked and overjoyed. And it's weird because the memory just popped up in this on my Facebook last night of when she drove them back out to meet them, and I got to see the pictures. And I got to see their faces, which were just huge, just tears and grins. But I also got to see the expression on that dog's face. And she had the biggest smile to be reunited with her owners. It was beautiful. And we were hooked. So that was kind of the inspiration for starting us on this journey. And since then, since getting our 501c3, we have rescued and rehabbed just over 3,000 dogs and lots of cats, but predominantly dogs. And so that's what we do. We pull dogs from shelters. Oftentimes, many of our animals come from behind the scenes. They don't even make it to the shelter because citizens, especially here in Carteret County, reach out. Right now, there's a lot of homelessness that's taking place. People are losing their homes. Finances are really hard for a lot of people, and they just can't keep up. Vet prices have gone sky high, cost of food for people as well as for dogs. So people reach out to us, and our ability to say yes depends on our ability to help, and that is twofold. Number one, we have to have money because we have to vet these animals. We have to spay and neuter them. We have to vaccinate them. We have to feed them. We have to provide them with flea and heartworm prevention. And the other thing that we need is foster homes because we're a foster-based program. We don't have a shelter, so we require help from the community if ever you reflect on it and think you might want to open your home temporarily to a dog in need. We're on Facebook. We're We have email, website, I'm happy to share that with you. We're always looking for foster homes. So if it's in your heart to do so, we would gladly love to talk to you. So yeah, that's where your contributions will go. We're so grateful for the help. It kind of came out of the blue, and we were just like, wow, that's amazing. So what a generous congregation, and really happy to be here today and to say thank you on behalf of all of us associated with Misplaced Mutts. So.
Thank you, Carrie. And I invite the greeters forward to collect today's offering.
Throw money around.
Of course.
Okay, no.
Please join us in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive, and we'll sing it twice.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
And now, please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And in Español, extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los lavamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. And our closing hymn is hymn number 118, This Little Light.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere
Friends, it is our practice to hold hands for the benediction in this congregation. If you do not wish to hold hands, move to the center of the circle so that we can surround you, but you do not need to hold hands if you don't want to. Oh no, I want to be in the circle too. I'm here too, I'm here too. Okay. Okay, all right, we're reaching.
I'll save you.
All right, friends, remember this. No matter what happens, no matter what you do or do not do, you are not failures. Failing does not make any of us a failure. Go forth knowing that you are a sacred being and that you need not fear doing anything wrong. Amen and blessed be. Okay.